It's extremely convenient. It's very public. It's very beautiful. So we have to find a use for it that justifies saying goodbye to $50 billion, right? And it's very accessible to the public, smack in the center of the city. You are going to lose this fight unless you come up with a scheme which is better than the government scheme. If I were on the town planning board, I can tell you the thinking. Unless there's a better alternative, we have to accept the government's plan. You don't want to leave things rotting away. Recently, I approved or I supported the Maritime Museum. At first, I opposed it very strongly. Then I took one afternoon, Saturday afternoon, walked around there, actually even with my wife, because she was interested in doing something else. I dragged her along. Everything we do is a sacrifice, you know that. Everything we do is a personal sacrifice. We walked around for 1.5 hours, and we found that it was not utilized. Beautiful pier, but empty. And the half of the pier was locked up, rotting away. And therefore, we don't want to see that happening to Government Hill. Whatever you want to do, you have to make good use of your resources. All right? That is what you need to do. Otherwise, you'll lose the battle. I have no feelings about, keeping the buildings, using the building, whatever. But I know how to fight the government. Right? The government will produce plans, very beautiful plans. They have unlimited resources. I think they employ a few hundred architects and so on. You have to do something probably from your own pockets. But get people together and come up with 1, 2, or 3 schemes, which will then have to be supported by the public. Otherwise, say goodbye to Government Hill. I would hate to see that. That's why I'm here this morning. John's idea is excellent. You should provide very good access from Queenstown Central up to Government Hill. It's a beautiful, I was thinking last night, I do take this morning's meeting very seriously. Maybe you need an escalator to take people up to what I call the extension of Hong Kong Park. So from here, you just conveniently go over to Hong Kong Park. It could be part of that. It could be a beautiful city lung. But someone has to come up with positive ideas. When you fight government, don't be negative. You can't just be saying, no, this is no good, this is no good. Then government will accuse you of Chinese 阻住世界轉, you're stopping the world from spinning. So you need to come up with something good. I'm very glad about this idea of an archive. That might be good, I don't know. But you've got to sell the idea to the public and get it be supported. Thank you.
If I can give some points. The one point first is what I endeavoured to convey, which I think was understood, was what I was, in terms of the existing environment of Government Hill, what I was trying to point out, which I think we're probably all aware of, is it's a beautiful environment, it's green, there's birds, it has dignity in the nice sense of the word, it is tranquil, it's an oasis. And what is not so good, though, is it's not so accessible. It isn't a place that, and certainly in the lower part, except for the Cathedral, Battery Path, and so on, and around the Cathedral, around the Court of Final Appeal. Apart from that area, it is not so accessible, partly because of Government's gates. The building itself, what I appreciate about it is that it is nicely fitted into the foot of Battery Path. In fact, at times I hardly realised it was there. I had to sort of go there and see what it was like, because when I think of that area, I think of the beautiful Battery Path going up the hill. You hardly notice the entrance to CGO, and that was deliberate, I'm sure. You don't notice it. You jolly well will notice it, the entrance to a commercial centre. What I think we need to do is to keep it for the community, and to improve the accessibility has been discussed. Now, as I say, we were discussing this at the Heritage and Conservation Committee of HKIA. Sadly, I haven't seen, for some extraordinary reason, I haven't seen the position paper. I haven't seen any document given to LegCo, which I think was discussed at the meeting with LegCo, but for some reason not presented. But at the meeting, some of the main points were accessibility and accessibility. Have a garden, community, and opposing commercial, and keep the scale, or do not worsen the scale of the buildings. The scale of the West Wing, particularly for, let's say, from Lower Albert Road. It's about 5 stories high from Lower Albert Road. Whereas it would now be going to, the building height is now going to 32 stories.